Hi, welcome back to the Girls Powered Network podcast. Today's first and new guest is Chelsea Davis. She is a wardrobe stylist. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. She's a part of the group, the network, and she's our first guest who's going to come and talk about what it was like to start and become a wardrobe stylist. So first of all, let's jump back a little bit and start with where you're from.
I'm from Manhattan Beach.
Oh, wow.
In
cool.
California.
Okay, so you're close by.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so born and raised there?
Born and raised.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always know you wanted to do something regarding like wardrobe and style?
Yes, I actually used to go to the sample sales that happen in downtown LA at the end of the month.
Yes.
And so I would go to those with my mom in high school.
Oh, cool.
And I remember at one point I was like, ooh, that job looks so glamorous. Like the girls behind the little like carpet back there and like, you know, and they always, it was the reps and they never dealt with the sample sales. Like they were like, no, we have other people to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be that.
I want to be that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And then I was graduating college and I was at one of the sample sales and I actually went into the Free People showroom.
Oh, cool.
And she was like, yeah, we can hire you right when you're out. And so I was really excited about this connection, but she literally went to offer me a job like in a month, and we had a miscommunication. I was graduating in a year and a month. Oh,
and so like a whole year early.
Yeah, it was like a whole year early.
Like, we're ready now.
Like,
you're like, I'm not.
I was super flattered. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. I was very excited. And I think probably if I look back now, that was definitely one of the things that I first manifested in my life.
Wow, that's
just from
really
like thinking and doing that, but I didn't know about that at the time. Like I didn't know about manifesting or the power of thought or like any of that at the time.
Yeah. Did your parents always back you up on like your dreams and your like passions, and or was it more like, oh, maybe get more of like a regular job? Like how was it?
I had both. So my mom was the one, she was my cheerleader. She was the one who supported like all my dreams. She was like, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Yeah. And then my dad is a type A personality and he was very much like, you work till you die. It doesn't matter if you like your job. Oh you know, like he's amazing. He was just raised in like such what I call now like a scarcity mindset, which I then realized that I was raised in a scarcity mindset. Right. And if we know what kind of mindset we're in, we're just keep recreating the same experiences from what our beliefs are. So I was very lucky because I ended up not taking that job because I had to graduate college. Right. But then I connected with them after and I got a job in retail for Free People. Cool. Okay. So I was there for a couple of years with management of their stores. Nice. And then I went into the wholesale showroom actually.
What was that like managing retail? Like because this is your first like real.
I was only 23, yes, and I was like, I like laugh because I was like, I laugh because I mean I was really definitely not responsible at that age at all.
Fake it till you make it. They don't.
Right. And I used to like. I definitely partied a lot. Yeah. And I remember like definitely being hungover every single weekend working at this job. And like I was in charge of the staff. Like I was in charge of all of operations, all of transfers. I was top sales. Like nice. I don't know how I did this to be honest, but sales has always been something I'm just very good at. So and also like just forming relationships with people very quickly. Right. So
did you also like thrift growing up and like sew? Was that like part of like your upbringing? No,
we weren't really crafty.
Oh, really?
No.
Really?
I've met friends that are like super crafty. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I wish I liked to do that. But no, I did paint growing up. I oil painted. And so
that's
did
cool.
my mom.
I don't know. I can't paint to save my life. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's very crafty.
Yeah.
So after the retail job and all that, what was that? What happened right after that?
So then I worked in the wholesale industry. So I started working for a couple multi-line showrooms, and then I actually got recruited to Free People a few years after that into wholesale. And that was like my dream job.
So what was that feeling like landing your dream job? And now how long after? So you were 23 originally, but like now for the wholesale job, how old were you?
I was 27.
27. Okay. Yeah. So how did it feel to like land your dream job?
So it felt surreal. It felt incredible. I hadn't worked for probably like 8 months. I was actually in Hawaii on vacation with my boyfriend at the time. And I had been interviewing with them for like 5 months. No joke. And all of a sudden, right before, right around Christmas, they were like, okay, we'd like to offer you the position. And so I started like mid-January right after.
Oh, amazing. Oh my God.
New Year's.
And what a great way to start the new year.
It was, I remember I found this this like almost like this meme, but like this positive meme that basically was like, it's a rare thing when a passion and a career come together.
Yes, and so early on too.
And so I was really, really lucky.
And do you still feel that same passion now when you're working?
Even more so.
Okay, well, let's dive into that.
Yeah.
So now, after that, did you feel like, okay, I already, not like reached what I wanted, but like you did reach your goal. So it's like, what happens next?
I was raised by that type A, right? Okay. So he was like always striving to get better. There's always something more. Like it's never enough, right? So I was also always trying to make him more proud and more proud and more proud.
Yeah.
So for me, then I got approached by my second dream company, and it actually, as I got older and I got into my like early 30s, this actually was more my dream company. It was called Wild Fox.
So how did they reach out to you? Like, are you like building a name and they just like heard it and like, okay,
no,
we like
this,
how does
this story is actually really crazy.
Okay, we love crazy stories.
Yeah, this is actually very
let's hear it. I'm excited.
So my recruiting agency reached out to me and said, there's a confidential job.
Okay.
We really want you to meet with them.
Okay.
I know you're really happy at Free People, but like, listen, we think this could be a great fit for you.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, the only time I have is I'm going out to Camarillo for my good friend's wedding, and like, I can stop there on the way out. And they were like, okay, just come in for 30 minutes.
Okay.
So
you're like, why not?
I used to notoriously be always late. It's something I really work on now, and I'm definitely more punctual. But
you were on time today.
Thank you so much. But back then, always late. So of course, I show up to this interview like late.
Yeah.
And I'm already late for the wedding, right? So I'm already kind of like rushing them, and I was like definitely bratty in the moment because I was like, I already have my dream job. I don't need this.
Right.
And so we're sitting there talking. And they're like, okay, like it has kids, it has swim, it has sun, it has all these different divisions. And I remember being like, I don't know how I didn't put two and two together, but I remember them being, I was like, you can't tell me what it is. And they're like, no, it's confidential. So she looked at me and I say, listen, I have to go. Yeah. I'm late for my friend's wedding.
Right.
The only job I would ever leave Free People for is Wild Fox. If it's not that, I have to go.
Out. Yeah. And they're just like.
And the woman goes, just give me a minute. She like walks outside and she comes back in and she goes, it's Wild Fox. And I'm like, what? She's
like, wait, okay, I got time.
She's like, I can tell you because you guessed. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's cool.
Send me over.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh my God.
So I had an interview with like the VP of sales and the controller at the time. And then I had an interview with the owner of the company at the time, Jimmy Summers. He's amazing, such a character.
Right.
Pleasure working with him.
What was the interview process like? Did you feel confident because you're like, I already have
I felt super confident because I was still super happy at Free People. But this was like my dream job.
So was there another level of like nervousness or like anxiety because you're like, this is like even higher than what I thought I could achieve?
You know, there was, but it felt really aligned. And I didn't really understood what that meant back then, but it just felt really natural when I was interviewing with them.
Okay, good to know.
It just felt like really natural.
Yeah.
And I mean, I ended up getting the job.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long after getting the job did you start? Like, was this like within the month? Or?
Yeah.
And what did you tell Free People? And were they upset? Was there drama?
They understood. They, you know, they were disappointed, but they were like, we understand.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
My first day on the job with Wild Fox was in New York. I was at a trade show called Coterie, and literally I flew there, and that was like my first experience. So, I mean, the fashion industry is notorious, like the wholesale for just throwing you in there.
Yeah.
That's something I've always been really good at, adapting very quickly to
and like fast fashion is a thing too. Like, how do you compete with that? Like, are you always, like, for example, are you always like browsing, like, what are the new styles, or like, how are you staying up to date with that?
Well, no. So that's what I really still believe you get what you pay for. Like, there are a lot of fast fashion brands out there, and that's great. But like, if you want pieces that are going to last in your wardrobe for years, and I talk to my clients about this, you get what you pay for. You invest in it. Of course, there's some brands that have great pieces, but a lot of times, in my experience, they don't last very long.
Yeah.
They're not pieces you're having for years and years. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Also, fast fashion is super bad for our environment. So it's hard for me to like.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, why it is bad?
There's just so much waste that happens with fast fashion in those factories. And so what's funny is I ended up, after I left Wild Fox, I ended up working for my last job in wholesale was a Chinese-run startup.
Tell me why you left
Wild Fox?
Yeah.
I unfortunately got let go. They were, they were restructuring their company and they were letting go of a lot of people.
Wow. Oh my God. So how did that feel? Because
they were going to get bought by like a very well-known brand. And the deal fell through at like the last minute. But they had already like let go of people. Like my VP of sales had gotten let go like a year before me.
Oh,
yeah. Wow. And he had been with the company for 12 years.
Oh,
so
my God, heartbreak.
Oh, it was really sad.
I was going to say, how do you deal with that? Like nobody wants to be let go, right? And when it happens, like it's hard not to feel down on yourself. So was there ever like not like a grieving period, but were you ever like sad and like didn't know maybe what to do next or what the next step was? Yeah, in your career.
Yeah. So I was coming back from a wedding.
Another wedding?
In Colombia.
A lot of people get married in your life.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't had that many weddings compared to a lot of people in my life. But yeah, I was coming back from a wedding in Colombia.
Yeah.
And I actually got in a really bad car accident.
Oh my God.
On the way back to work, and I wasn't allowed to go to work for a few weeks. It was at the same time they were like restructuring. So after I was let go, I was still really depressed because I also was injured. So like,
how bad?
I had to do physical therapy for like my back and stuff because I had experienced like extreme whiplash.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're okay now.
Yeah, it took about a month and a half to recover. I'm super grateful that everything was fine.
Yeah.
But so then I was definitely like depressed, I feel like, for a few months trying to figure out my next step.
Yeah, because you're just like, okay, like I'm not moving the way that I want to.
And of course I had a father that was like, what are you doing your next step? Like I remember the first time I ever got let go from a job, I came over to his house like crying. Yeah. My mom was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And my dad was like, okay, let's go. Let's get to start.
Look for another job.
Literally, he was like, let's go. We're going to refix your resume and let's go. Where are we going next?
Both.
No time for tears.
I
was like, oh, okay.
Sometimes you need that little push, you know?
I was lucky. I had the balance of both.
Exactly. You really did. You really did. You got the mom that's like, honey, and then the dad's like, go.
Right. But I do thank my dad because I owe my like business acumen to my father. Like, you know, I owe my negotiation skills to my dad. I owe my perseverance to my dad. I owe the companies. Like I got to work for both dream companies I wanted in the fashion industry. A lot of women cannot say that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's why
it's very competitive. It's very cutthroat.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Fashion, the fashion industry is very cutthroat and very competitive.
Yeah.
So were there ever times you were getting compared to other stylists, or you know, maybe you didn't get a gig because your the way you styled wasn't what they wanted, or like how do you deal with that kind of stuff?
Well, so when I was in wholesale, I was actually sales. Okay. So I didn't do styling. Okay. I mean, I did merchandising and stuff, but we would sell to buyers that who owned boutiques and department stores, and they would come in and they would write the collections like 6 months out. And so with that, we were actually looking at a much broader audience because we had to think about all the different clients that were coming into the floor of a department store or a boutique, whereas styling is just like individualized. And that's what I what I do now. So before it was wholesale. Okay. And sorry, I didn't explain that.
No, that's cool. No, thanks. Yeah, but so is what you're doing now what you really wanted to do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, absolutely. So when I left the Chinese run startup, it was like right around when the pandemic and lockdown happened. Oh, okay. Yeah, the company was really not doing well, and that really wasn't through fault of my own. It was fault through
I was going to say, was it because of the pandemic or was it just the company itself?
No, it was definitely just a couple things. We don't even need to go into that.
It was not the pandemic.
But it was that the pandemic did not help them. Basically, like, I think what I can say, which I think is so interesting, is when we came back from break into the new year, you know, Chinese New Year is like, I think beginning of
February?
Yeah, end of January, beginning of February. And I was told that a lot of our staff couldn't return because the factory was shut down. And I was like, oh, where is our factory? I don't know. Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's in Wuhan.
Yeah.
And I was like, shut down. So the whole country was closed. Yeah. So it was kind of like, are we going to stay open? Are we not? And so I exited that position of my own feeling of, am I going to have a job or not? And so I did. And it was the best decision I made because when we went into lockdown, I was sitting there a couple months in and I was like, gosh, what do I really want to do with my life?
Exactly.
Like, what do I love?
Right.
And it's like, I love fashion, obviously. I love making people feel good and confident and helping others.
That's very nice.
And I love traveling. My number one thing in life is travel.
Yes,
if I could like
live for travel.
Right?
Yes.
If I could go to like a new country like every month.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Even every few weeks.
Right? I'm in. Let's go. That's literally my dream. That is my dream.
See, some people think that's like crazy. And I'm like, no.
Like I tell people all the time, the reason why I like work and like I don't mind working hard is because I want to see the world and travel. Like that's all I really want to do.
Yeah.
When lockdown hit, you're sitting at home, you're like, all right, I want to do something. I want to continue obviously in this industry. What were you thinking about how to get started in what you're doing now and stuff? Like how did you make a portfolio, or did you make like videos showcasing like different stuff that you've styled, or how does one get started in this?
No, I didn't do any of that. I really didn't. I literally was like...
You're like, none of the above.
I need to make a website.
Okay.
That's what I did.
A website.
So I started researching how to make a website. I recruited one of my friends who used to be in wholesale with me.
Yes.
And I partnered with her. She was very techie. Nice. And we like built my website together. Oh, cool. And she helped with that.
So what did you want on the website? Like what were you trying to showcase?
I just had a vision. So like for me, a lot of people, you know, from my job in wholesale, I used to like... The last title I held there was National Sales Director before I left.
Okay.
So even at Wild Fox, like I was a sales manager and the sales director. So I had to travel to different like trade shows, sometimes like 3 in 1 month to meet with the buyers, make sure my team was like writing orders to the best of their ability, showcasing, you know, the collections.
Yeah.
And I had to become a really efficient packer.
Can you tell me how to pack? Because
that's what I do. That's one of the services I offer.
My boyfriend gives me so much shit. He's like, you need to stop packing so much. Like we're trying to go to Greece and he's trying to have me pack a carry-on and a backpack. And I literally, have you seen me? I'm like, I'm super girly. I love to bring like more than one pair of shoes. My makeup bag's already the size of my carry-on. Like it's going to be impossible. But if you have any suggestions, I need that.
Absolutely. But something you should know is Greece actually has a ton of shopping.
Ooh.
Really expensive shopping.
Really expensive shopping?
Inexpensive shopping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So I didn't know this, but I had an experience, another funny story for you. I had an experience in 2019. I flew to Positano.
I love Positano.
Yeah, I don't, because this experience, I was like, you know what, this is just
it's hard to get to. It's very small. This is
just not a good memory from when I went.
They make it look a little bit more hyped online. You should go off season too. I went when it was off season, so it was like empty.
I went when it was very busy season. But the reason I don't like it has nothing to do with the country.
Yeah.
It has to do with my experience. I flew and my luggage was lost.
I'm so worried about that.
Never recovered though. Like never.
Ever.
Like $10,000 worth of stuff gone. Like samples from showrooms I had collected over the years, never could get back. Like all brand new, like skincare and hair care. Like even samples from the current showroom I was working in that she had like gifted me to like shoot for her out there. It was
trauma. That's trauma.
It's very traumatizing.
Are you okay?
Well, the reason I made it through, but the reason is that I'm telling you this about how Greece has shopping. Yeah. So I remember I was like trying to Google everything out there because I was going to Mykonos after Positano.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, is there shopping? Is there shopping? So I couldn't like find anything. Yeah. They had actually said there wasn't good shopping there. So I had to like call my dad and be like, listen.
Dad, here to save the day. I love it.
Dad, I need you to wire me some money because I have to buy a whole new wardrobe.
And the airline didn't give you any money?
$300. Oh, I will still stand by this. Welling, Spain's largest airline. Like, no, they're awful. Be very careful if you fly them because they will lose your luggage and they have a reputation of losing luggage. So I'm just telling this to people so they understand.
That's literally why my boyfriend told me to do a carry-on because he's like, if you check your bag, you're gonna lose it.
Well, no,
then we're gonna have to wait 2 hours.
AirTag. You just bring an AirTag.
That's smart.
AirTags are different from tiles in that they can fly hundreds of thousands of miles and still stay connected. Oh, like amazing. I can open up my phone and I can see where my luggage is at home because my AirTag will let me know.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's the smart way of traveling.
That's what you do. So you hide it somewhere in your bag, right? So that if they do look through your bag, which does happen.
Yes, that's actually a common thing.
Yeah, it's really common. Yes. So also, don't ever put anything, like when I'm packing my clients and we've gotten all these new clothes for them, I make sure to take off all the tags because people,
if it looks new, people will steal it.
People, when they open that and they see tags, they can resell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my! So you travel with your clients as well,
or I pack them for their trips.
Wow. So do you like really like pack their suitcase?
I physically pack them if they want me to, or I just compose outfits for them.
Come over.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so give me an example of like a suitcase you packed, like your client. Like what were you doing? What was the job? What was the outfit? What did you need to do?
Well, I had a client reach out to me at a last minute work trip to Mexico. That was thrown. She's in marketing. It was thrown on her like 48 hours before. Okay. And she was a very organized client. Not all my clients are like this. She had an entire itinerary for each thing she was like doing on her trip. And she wanted an outfit for each thing.
Cool.
So I was like, all right, well, this makes my job easy. So we just went shopping for those outfits and worked with what she had in her wardrobe, and we tried them on her and we put them together and we took photos so that when she's on her trip, she can reference back the photos and
be like, oh, this accessory matched with this skirt or whatever.
Well, for me, like, it's very important, like, when you're in your feminine, if you're truly in your feminine flow, a lot of us women are taught to be in our masculine flow. Right. Yeah. You know, like I very much have been in my masculine flow my whole life. I just started learning to be in my feminine more. Yeah. And so we are constantly like having everything planned out, right? But if you're in your feminine, you go with your feelings. That's what makes women so wonderful. We're like an ocean of emotion, and like a divine mass.
Emotion.
I can't take credit. It's from David Deida in the book The Man.
I would have been like, she came up with it. Chelsea Davis said it on the podcast first.
No. Yeah. But anyways, he put it in his book, and basically. It says that, and it's true. Yeah. Like, if you're in your feminine, you're going to be dressed on how you're feeling. Yeah. Like, we have so many things as women that affect us, like what time we are during the cycle. Yes. Like, if we've eaten a lot of food in the beginning of the trip.
You want to wear tight clothes.
Exactly. And so, a lot of times, it's better, I just put together the outfits, they have the photos, and then in the moment, they can put what they're feeling best in.
I like that. That's fun. Yeah. That's actually the right way to do it. That's awesome. And when you do it for guys, is it a little bit different, or do you?
No. So guys, like a lot of my male clients, like they want it decided. Okay. So like we decided like, right you then tell me and there. What to wear. Yeah, we decided right then and there. Yes. I have the photo album for them. Yeah. And then they can like if weather changes or something like that, they can obviously make their own decision because I'm not on the trip with them. Right. A lot of my clients too, I'll do consulting, so they'll send me photos and be like, "This is what I'm going to. What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" Or if they're shopping like overseas and stuff or on a trip, then they can ask me what I think.
Yeah, because I was gonna say,
I include that too.
Do they ever tell you like, "This is the vibe that I'm going for," or is it more like in your hands of like, "Okay, this is where I'm going. What do you think the vibe is?"
Every client is so different. Okay. It's both of those.
It's both of those.
Yeah.
Fun. That makes it fun though, because you can sometimes you're more invested and more involved, and sometimes they kind of just tell you what they're looking for and you make it happen. So
it's also different. So like when I first meet a client, I send them a little bit about my services. I have like a PDF that I send them about my services, and then I have an intake form that I send them. And the intake form is really fun because basically it's like, who's your style icon?
Oh my god! Yeah. Wait, do that. Wait, do it on me. Like I wanna see if you like what you would rate me. Or I guess rate me. Like how would you style me? Like how would?
Okay,
let's do it. It'd be a fun exercise.
Okay, so for the intake form, like who would you say are your style icons?
Honestly, when Zendaya hits a red carpet or anything, I would totally like wear that kind of stuff. If it was like, if it was an event or like red carpet. Every day, let's just go, let's say a popular one. Let's just say Kylie Jenner. She has good clothes. She has a lot of outfits. She has a lot of access to things. How would I, if I wanted to dress like her, like how would I do that?
Okay, so Kylie basically has more of like a neutral style. She definitely has some statement pieces. So I mean, obviously Skims has some like amazing pieces. Yeah. They have like this gorgeous like knit dress almost that like sucks you in all the way down. Nice. And it's very, very flattering. Yeah. So you would want to just get a lot of good basics. And then personally, like what I find a lot of success in is finding really cool jackets.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I don't actually have any
jackets.
Like, cool
Jackets can elevate an entire outfit.
That's so true.
Also, like high waist belts for women can elevate a lot of outfits too.
High waist belts, okay. Because I have high waisted jeans and stuff like that, but high waisted belts,
right? So like, say you have like a jumpsuit and maybe it comes with a belt. Well, you take out that belt and then you put a different belt in, and it totally changes the look.
I love that. That's great. And what about shoes? Like, do shoes have a big play in the outfit? Would you say?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you can do a pop of color shoe if you're going more neutral on top. Like you can do so much.
And accessories, are those Do you also deal with all that as well?
It's really all personal. Yeah, I deal with that as well. Like I was shopping with a new male client today. We were at Neiman Marcus and it was such a rewarding experience because he told me exactly like what his goals are and what he wanted. Right. And it was funny because he was my first client that has a photographic memory and I have a photographic memory.
Wait, really? Oh my God.
Yeah. So
you're a good test taker.
Yes. So
I was never a good test taker, so I'm jealous.
Well, it's funny because when I was little, I had ADD and I was not a good test taker.
Really?
So it did not help me there because I had issues with reading comprehension. Where it did help me is in wholesale when I would be like pulling out the buy of what that buyer wanted and waiting to like write it down on my iPad or back in the olden days, like on their PO.
We used to write things down.
Yeah, like other reps would like steal it from me and I'd remember what they wanted because they needed it to show their client we only had one sample set. So it really helped me. Or if they're like, oh, do you remember when I liked this? And I was like, yeah. So when I go into someone's closet, I remember most of the things in their closet. So then when we're out shopping, they're like, what about this? I'm like, no, but you already have this. Oh. So that helps.
That helps a lot. Yeah. Oh my God, that is amazing. What is the like hardest client maybe you've had to style or like things that are difficult?
The hardest client I've had to style, naturally, women are a little more difficult than men, just because of our a lot of men are more confident in their bodies that I've worked with. Right. And I totally understand that and I feel that. Yeah. But it's the women who like won't let go of control. Like a lot of my male clients, like they have opinions, which is amazing, but they're kind of like, okay, I hired you to do this. Like, let me see what you can do. Yeah. A lot of my female clients at first will kind of test me or like, you know, which is fine. I love that. You know, it's not, my prices are not inexpensive. So I get that. I hope that you're doing that. Right. But then once they feel more comfortable, then it's a much better connection. But in the beginning, it's always like if my clients just don't kind of trust me in the beginning. Right.
Yeah. And you build that trust too with
you
your
build
clients.
it. Yeah. So those have definitely been more challenging clients that are like, don't want to let go, but don't really also know what they're doing, but want the help, but want to control like every step of the way.
How do you set your price, for example? Like, how would that work? Because, you know, every client is different. And also sometimes they're going on longer trips or they're doing different things. So how do you base the price?
Yeah. So that's actually been one of the challenges I found as a new entrepreneur and business owner, putting in boundaries with my clients and also like pricing. Right. Because you know, it's human nature. Like everyone will take advantage.
Everybody wants a discount. They can get one.
What they can do. And sometimes they don't even realize that they're like, texting you too much or like, you know, like sometimes they don't even realize that, but you really do. Like even my travel time, like, you know, you have to account for that. So the easiest way I've done my pricing is just a half day and full day.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it's that, and I just have a 4-hour minimum. Okay. Because the way I do it is like I offer closet sessions. Right. I offer personal shopping. Cool. Yeah, I offer event styling.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, and then I offer trip packing. So pretty much all of them are a 4-hour minimum because even with the trip packing, I might pack you in a trip in like 30 or 40 minutes depending on how long you're going, like physically packing you. Right. But when we're sitting there and we're planning those outfits and you're trying them on and you're seeing what you feel confident and we're taking photos, that's all part of it.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, time is money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For anyone that would want to do this, what advice could you give them, like starting out?
Well, I actually struggled for a moment because I was like, how do I get clients? And it was this whole thing of like wanting it so badly. And when you want something so badly or you feel like you need something, this is one of the biggest lessons I learned this year. Yeah. You can't have it because you're in scarcity. Like it's not going to happen. I like that. But if you let go of the attachment and you let go of how you think it's going to happen and you're just grateful for what is happening and you like believe that, then it will happen. That's like the number one thing for manifesting.
Very well said.
Thank you so much.
I believe in manifestation too, and honestly, like I feel like I've manifested a lot of things, so I believe it. I'm
we're here.
We're here, right?
This is amazing.
Yeah. I guess my last question would be, how did you hear about Girls Power Network, and how did that all come to be? Like, how did you meet Huda, and what made you join?
So I met Huda one day through my friend Sylvia, and I actually offered to give her a ride home. And she was so sweet. She wouldn't take the ride. She was like, I live all the way in the valley. But I waited with her while her Uber came to pick her up. Yeah. And we just started chatting. Yeah. And then the next thing I know, like I was coming back from some somewhere and I got this like text from Girl Power Network. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it just seemed like this great group of like female entrepreneurs and just women that like want to empower women and really just like want to be this amazing community of just like, you know, loving one another and pushing one another to do their best in life.
Yeah. We were talking about that too in the first episode. Is just like, it's nice to have a supportive group of girls just, you know, pushing you to like go after your dreams and telling you can do it, because not all of us grew up with like a sisterhood or a sister in general. So it's just kind of nice to have that, especially when we're all far away from our homes, or not everyone, but like some of us, and it's just nice to feel like we have a community. So thank you for joining and being our first official guest. It was so nice talking to you and learning everything about your journey and your career. It was really cool.
Social media is Sweet Vintage. It's SW3Es, so Sweet Vintage. And how it came about was a guy friend of mine in our early 20s like named me Sweet Vintage. It was like my AIM name.
I love that. You're like, I was named.
Sweet
Vintage. That's cool.
Matt Linish. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. And so it's just been that. And I don't post a ton of my styling on there.
You should.
I definitely need to more, but I don't, because a lot of my styling is done with my clients.
Oh, and it's more personal.
And it's personal, and I'm in their homes, and you know what I mean? Or I'm like packing them.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what would be really cool though for your social media, if for example you were like, you know, like today it's like a 90 degree weather day, like what to wear on this hot day? How do I not sweat through my dress? And I'm like, what do I wear in this, you know, terrible heat right now?
Definitely challenging.
And then I end up wearing like a baggy shirt. I'm like, this is not who I am. Like, this is not my style.
Like, this is not.
I'm like, trust me.
But I am starting a TikTok with styling advice.
Hell yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
So I am starting that. So
I'm very excited for that. I will definitely be looking out for that. And thank you so much again. Would you like to come join us for the very end?
Hi.
Look who we have here.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, of course, babe. Thanks for having me.
How do you like being part of GPN?
Oh my God, I love it. Like we're having so many upcoming network events, and I was at the first one. I'm one of the very early members, and just all the women are like so nice. They're so supportive. They truly want like the best for each other, which I love. And you know, you also make it like really fun and exclusive and special, and it's just like, I'm like honored to be a part of it, and I can't wait to see how much it grows. And
me too. It's already growing too.
And like honestly, it already has helped me so much, because the whole reason I was published in my very first like magazine was through Huda and through GPN, because there was
Wait, tell us how did that come to be? How did that happen?
Well, Anissa, who owns Pump It Up Magazine, posted in our WhatsApp group, hey women, or hey ladies, I'm going to be doing a feature on female entrepreneurs. Like if you want to be featured, go ahead, or consider to be featured, go ahead and send me your website. So I sent her my website. And my website needs to be updated. Like I made this website in 2020. I feel like I have much better marketing materials, but my website is there to be there. And so anyways, like she looked at my website and she sent me back the most incredible questions ever. They just lit me up as I was when I was reading them and then answering them. I was like, this is everything that I was thinking about when we were in lockdown, and I was like, why do I want to do this business? What do I want to accomplish? Like, it's like she like peered into my mind and just like knew. It was so crazy. It felt so aligned when I was answering. And then I was like one of like 5 women who were actually published in the magazine versus just being on the online platform, which either one is incredible. But I was like, whoa.
But she saw something in you too, which is awesome.
And I was so honored and like...
And all from a text, so what's up text.
I know,
exactly.
Right?
And
thank you, Anissa.
Yes, that's exactly what like GPN does. And it's an honor.
That's a great way to sum it up. That's exactly what the group does, is support each other. And if there's ever an opportunity for someone in the group,
this is like, I just want to know people to know, like, this is not only my community, this is our community. We're here to grow together, you know, and to expand together. So,
stay tuned.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.